What's up, stars? It's me, Shorter Star. And listen, I'm not going to keep you guys long today. I know that if you are one of the millions of people that was affected by this major snowstorm that we had last weekend, I know you might be still digging out, okay? Right now, I am drinking some fruit infused water, right? And I'm drinking my ginger tea. I am double fisting this mug today. You know what I mean? This is the type of week that it is. Listen, again, I want to continue to thank you for supporting my channel. I still continue to ask you to subscribe, like, comment, and share. That's what I need you to do. It won't cost you one penny, I promise you. Okay, so we're gonna get into this story and I'm gonna let you guys go. This is what we're gonna do. How many of you guys are familiar with Anthony Anderson, right? And when I say Anthony Anderson, how many of you guys are familiar with Roxy Diaz? Okay. Well, we remember Anthony Anderson from different shows like Blackish, and he's a stand up comedian and he's really, really funny, right? And then we remember Roxy Diaz as one of the VJs from 106 in Park, remember? Very beautiful young lady. And not only that, Roxy Diaz, if y'all not familiar with the name, she was one of the people that Lisa Ray, excuse me, she was one of the women that Lisa Ray accused of having an affair with her then husband, Michael Music. He was the premier of the Turks and Caicos at that time. And she wasn't the only woman Lisa Ray accused. She also accused Nicole Murphy, Eddie Murphy's ex-wife. Remember? So I'm just saying, for those of you that remember or don't want to remember, Google Lisa Ray and Roxy Diaz, Lisa Ray and Nicole Murphy and Michael Music and all of that. It was interesting. Actually, to be honest with you, that could have been made into a Lifetime movie. Real talk. Yeah, Lifetime. Anyway, um, so Anthony Anderson is stating that Roxy Diaz is his lady. Anthony Anderson has confirmed his relationship with Roxy Diaz, stating, "That is my lady." This revelation comes after years of keeping his personal life private. Anderson's first public romance since his divorce in 2023. The confirmation was made during a visit to The View to promote his new role as host of Netflix Star Search Reboot. So that means Star Search is being rebooted. Okay. And if you remember, if y'all like Star Search, I know most of the people are not going to remember Star Search, but do you remember Kim and Countess Vaughn? Her real name was Countess Vaughn, but she played Kim on Moesha and she played Kim on The Parkers. Well, she came from Star Search. Quite a few people came from Star Search. It was the thing back then. Well, Anthony is stating that him and Roxy has been friends over 20 years and he's happy to have her in his life. My only thing was he called her his lady friend. And last time, I ain't been out in them streets in a while, but I don't think women like to be referred to as a lady friend because that's not really a title. You can have a lady friend Monday, another lady friend on Tuesday, and I love a lady friend on Wednesday. So I'm just saying, a lady friend, Roxy. Hmm. Well, at least he ain't married, so let's ask for short things, little things. Okay, let's keep the bigger things. Okay. Well, congratulations to Anthony Anderson and Roxy Diaz. Okay. Now, most of the time when we speak of Pharrell Williams, we're speaking of Pharrell Williams because he's the new creative director for menswear at Louis Vuitton and stuff like that, which I believe, and if you ask me, he's doing a great job. He has turned Louis Vuitton into something that, because we have so many young millionaires now, very wealthy young people now, and now Louis Vuitton was once so stuffy and just so bougie. Now it's sneakers, it's activewear, it's sweatsuits, it's glasses, it's everything you can imagine, right? Well, Pharrell Williams is being sued, and he's being sued by his old um. How can I call them? Because they were in a group together. It was just those two, right? Well, let me bring up the picture and then we can talk about. Come on. Oh, come on. Are you for real? Okay, here we go. Um, Here we go. Well, his name is Chad Hugo, right? And is the Chad Hugo is Pharrell's partner. And if you remember anything, he was Pharrell's partner in the Neptunes and the Nerds, right? Let me hit this and let me see if I can. Boom, here we go. So they were a trio, right? I mean, yeah, they were a group. It was just those two. They were in the Nerds and they were in the other group. So they just keep changing the name from the Nerds to the Neptunes and different things. Well, Chad Hugo is now suing Pharrell Williams for $1 million. Chad Hugo states that he believes that Pharrell Williams owes him $1 million for uncovering earnings from the Nerds album "No One Ever Really Dies." Hugo alleges that Williams has systematically denied him royalties and rights as a partner in the Neptunes and the Nerds. And I remember back in those days, like, oh, you. Pharrell and they actually had a sneaker line and a clothing line and different things. So, Pharrell Williams is being sued by his old partner from the Neptunes and the Nerds for $1 million. Um, Actually, Pharrell is stating that this didn't even have to come to a lawsuit. He said this could have been a conversation, and unless he's living under a rock, um, Pharrell is assuming that anybody can just pick up the phone now and call him and say, "Well, listen, buddy, old pal, I believe that you owe me a million." I'm sure your wife has to make an appointment to get in touch with you, Pharrell, at this point. I mean, and that's just alleged, you know? Um, like I said, Chad Hugo is claiming that he's owed a million. He believes he's owed $1 million from that one album. My question is, Chad, is the money running low or what's going on? Because as far as I know, the Neptunes and the Nerds haven't had music out in years. So why are you just understanding that $1 million was owed to you from this particular album? Is it that Pharrell is being seen all over because of Louis Vuitton and different things, or he's in the limelight and he's still moving on and still making? I don't know. I just want to know why so long? Why now? Because from what I understand, the Nerds and the Neptunes haven't had music in a long time. So I'm just saying, what is it? You know how that go. Okay. Well, how many of you are aware that Lamar Odom was arrested in Las Vegas on January 17th on suspicion of DUI? Well, Lamar Odom was arrested in Las Vegas on January 17th on suspicion of DUI along with two other traffic violations. Are we surprised? No, we are. I think most of us are aware that Lamar Odom has had issues with substance abuse before in the past, allegedly, right? I remember when he was married to Khloe Kardashian, and that was one of their issues that they couldn't stay married because of his addictions, right? And then I remember back in 2015 when Lamar had a near fatal overdose. I believe it was at the Bunny Ranch or something. Allegedly, it's where prostitution is legal in Vegas. And he had a near fatal overdose there. And I remember him stating back then that he wasn't on any substances, but yet had a near fatal drug overdose. And also, he was arrested for a DUI back in 2013. So, I mean, yeah, let's pray for Lamar. I mean, whatever the situation is, pray for him. Pray for him. I was talking to a friend not long ago, and we were talking about how people have addicted behaviors, like they have like their behavior, like anything that they do, they just do it to the 15th power. You know what I mean? They can't just have one drink or two drinks. They have this addiction, and the addictive behavior is sometimes passed down. From what I understand, I'm not a doctor. I just play one on TV, but you know that addictive behavior can be passed down through your genes and your traits from your parents. So again, we can send out prayers to Lamar Odom, and that's what we can do. Okay, now we were talking about Anthony Anderson, and he's going to be the new host of the new Star Search, right? Well, there's another show that's being rebooted, and some of us may even be interested in it because it comes from a time where um, it was needed. It was needed. And okay, well, the show is A Different World. How many of you guys remember A Different World? It was a spinoff from the Cosby Show. And when their daughter, one of their daughters, when she became of age from high school to college, the show they gave her a spinoff and sent her to Hillman College, right? And they sent her to Hillman College, and that was some of the first times that my generation experience anything with college. It made plenty of us want to go to college because we got to see something that was so different. I remember my generation sometimes allegedly being some of the first to go to college in certain families. You know what I mean? And remember, A Different World was from the 90s. And it's now 2026, so it's definitely a different world. It really is. I think that the impact that this show had on us in the 90s pushed a lot of us to go to school and want to go to college. Where I don't know if it's going to have that same effect in 2026, because first off, we have social media and we have the internet. And quite honestly, most of us can't afford to go to college if we wanted to. Not with this administration. I'm just saying. Okay. Um, Hell, I was in the supermarket buying groceries when the president is on TV stating that the prices are lower than they've ever been. And I'm in the store looking around like, what is he talking about? So again, A Different World is being rebooted. And we're going to go to the picture that I have up on the screen, right? Because I want to bring it up, make it a little bigger. Okay, so I believe that this young lady, right, she's going to be playing the role as Deborah Wayans. She'll be the youngest daughter of Dwayne Wade and Whitley Gilbert. If you remember the show, those were two of the main characters. We watched them go to school as freshmen. We watched them go together as boyfriend and girlfriend. We watched them get married. And we watched Dwayne come back to Hillman College as a professor, remember? So, I mean, there's a lot of people that came out of A Different World and from that genre. Like, um, what was it? Everybody co-starred on it. Will um, Jada Pinkett Smith, she played on A Different World. She went to that college, Hillman. A lot of people came from that school and came from that time and that cast. So now, this young woman right here with the purple, right? Well, guess what? That's Tashina Arnold's daughter. Tashina Arnold plays Pam on Martin and numerous other shows. Um, yeah, that's her daughter. I don't know why they're showing this particular picture of her because she's older and she looks older. I actually follow her and she's brilliant. She can sing, she can act, she can dance. If I'm not mistaken, allegedly she danced with Debbie Allen from Debbie Allen Dance School from as a kid. So Debbie Allen will still be directing the new versions and the new series of A Different World. So that will be a plus. I'm not familiar with the two other people that's on here. I'm not familiar, but I'm sure it'll be interesting. I just again am thinking like, what? How is this really going to affect the young people, this young generation? As far as making them want to go to college is different. So we'll see. We will see. And listen, oh yeah, for those of us, I'm about to tell my age, listen. How many of us remember Charlie's Angels? Now, I know this new generation remembers Charlie's Angels. Let me get rid of this. They remember Charlie's Angels, the movies that are out now, right? And baby, Charlie's Angels turns 50 years old this year. Charlie's Angels debuted September 22nd, 1976. We are now in January of 2026. So for those of you that remember the original Charlie's Angels with Farrah Fawcett and just Kate Jackson and just on and on and on. If you remember those, guess what? Charlie's Angels turns 50 years old this year. Okay, this is my next story, and this is my last story. I'm gonna let y'all guys go and get out there to your shoveling or whatever it is y'all got to do. Um, I don't know. Here in New Jersey, I remember before the pandemic, here in New York and New Jersey, that they were pushing this marketing for this new ID called Real ID, right? And from what I understand, it was supposed to allegedly, this is before pandemic, they were pushing. They had gave out deadlines that we needed to change over our driver's licenses to this new ID. And allegedly, this new ID was going to combine your driver's license, your passport, and allegedly your birth certificate, all of your documents into one ID. Like, so how we walk around with our driver's license and our wallet, instead of having to walk around with your passport and stuff, this ID would have everything in it. And you have a lot of people that was against it from the gate because they felt like this is just another way for the country or for the government to take more control over us and to be able to tell where we are. And I just felt it was silly because our social security numbers come from the government when we're born. Our driver's license number comes from the government. Our birth certificate comes from the government. So guess what, people? You can have all the excuses you want to not move ahead and go with better times and with new technology and stuff, but it is what it is. They know where we are. There's cameras everywhere. They're watching us through our TVs. Listen. For those of you that do not have this thing called the new Real ID, starting February 1st, 2026, you will be charged $45 extra at the airports when you want to fly and travel for not having this ID. You would have to pay a $45 fee. Now, allegedly, you could still use your passport and stuff like that. But I remember when I started flying and traveling international, which was back in the late 80s, right? You didn't need a passport. Sure, people had passports. I remember my grandmother having a passport and it had all these pages in it. Well, back then, before 9/11, you didn't need a passport to travel international. All you needed was your driver's license or your state ID given to you from the state that you live in. You needed your birth certificate and you needed your social security card. Those are the three things you needed to travel international around the world back then. But after 9/11, with all the terror threats and things that happened, now passports you have to have, right? And we also know that everyone can't get a passport. If you're convicted of certain crimes, if it's this, if it's that, I hear that if you owe child support, they will take your passport and your driver's license. It's just a lot going on, right? Well, starting February 1st, 2026, the TSA will charge a $45 fee for travelers who do not have a real ID or other acceptable forms of identification. This fee will be used to establish identity through the TSI Confirm ID process, which will be available for the 10-day travel period. Now, say you don't have this ID and you go to the airport to travel. If your trip is more than 10 days, you're going to pay that $45 going and you're going to pay the $45 to return. If your trip is 10 days or less, you will only have to pay the $45 fee going. For whatever reason you don't want to get this ID, they're going to charge you. They're going to make you. Or you're going to be happy to pay $45 each way if the trip is more than 10 days, right? A lot of people believe it's a money grab. And it very well is, I'm sure. It is what it is. Listen, living in a day and a time where we're paying now new TSA fees, congestion pricing, taxes and tolls are going up. With this new administration, you can't be surprised. You can't say you're shocked. So again, those of you who do not have this real ID, me and my household, we do have the real ID. You need to get it or be prepared to pay this $45 to $90 for a traveling round trip without it. Okay? Listen, I want you guys to be intentional. I love you guys. I want you to check on your strong friends, check on your strong family members, and get out there and do what it is, whatever it is you need to be doing. I love you guys, and I will see you guys as soon as possible. Have a safe week. Be great. Love you.